Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 300. New milestone today. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so excited. Just remember to do something that scares you every single day because that's what I've been doing for 300 days. It used to scare the crap out of me to do these videos. And then it slowly got easier. And then one day I was like, oh, I just got to do my video. Oh, just got to do the video. Oh, just got to do the video. You just create a habit and you just keep going. And I know I used to intro this with, I had social anxiety and public speaking fears and things like that. And I've really overcome that, at least through the, camera. And I think I could actually get on a stage. And that is something I was always afraid of. So you just start to get comfortable with something and then you start to believe in yourself. So, but what happened is I believed in myself first. So I shifted my identity first into a person that does YouTube videos. And that was just not who I was before. I was a person who was waiting to do YouTube. That kept me in a state of waiting. And I was preparing to get on YouTube. And so I was in a state of preparation, which is not necessarily a bad thing, of course. But as I started doing it, I was in the knowing and the identity of a person that's being on YouTube. So decide something, I challenge you, decide something that scares you that you might be putting off and start doing something with it. Whether it's researching or creating a small habit to possibly start, doing the thing that you're thinking about doing. Ask yourself, what is scaring me? What is making me wait to do this thing that I might be passionate about? And so always ask yourself that, like, why am I waiting to live my life fully? Why am I waiting to be my full self? That's a really good question to ask yourself. Why am I waiting? And if I were my full self, what would that look like? So just ask yourself these questions and see what pops up. Just ask them and then maybe let a couple days go by and just see what comes to you. See what comes in dreams to you. See what just pops in your head as a received thought that just comes out of nowhere, but it really came out of the quantum field, to your brain. So you could access it. So just be real curious about what could happen and just ask yourself those questions. There's never a better time than now to start being yourself because there is only now. You only need to worry about right now. I used to say, and I love still saying, that I am the operant power. I am God of my reality. I'm creating everything moment to moment based on my belief system, based on my identity, and no one has free will in my reality. I really have always liked that one a lot. No one has free will except for me. And that's fun to play with. It's just fun to play with all of these things. If you don't believe them, just play with them and see what happens. Because it is amazing what happens when you program this stuff into your mind and your mind grabs a hold of it. And it's like, oh, this is truth. Because remember, the brain does not know the difference between truth or falsity. So you can program anything you want in there, in your thinker. And it'll believe it. It'll be like, all right, we're gonna take this and we're gonna run with it. And so you get to decide who you're going to be every moment. And pretty soon you're actually being that person. You actually are that person. So it's just a knowing that you create inside yourself that says, yeah, I'm this person and I'm gonna do this. And I am very capable of doing this. I used to feel not capable of things. Have you ever felt that way where you're just like, I can't do this? Like I've tried, I've failed, I've tried, I've become exhausted. I've been there and I understand how that feels to the best of my ability. I'm not in your body and your mind, but I understand to the best of my ability what that feels like. And you have to keep persisting, as they say. Persistence is key. Repetition is key. We've got to persist until it hardens into fact, like Neville would say. Persist until it hardens into fact. It may not feel like a fact right now, but decide some things and write these things down and act as if they're a fact already. Your brain and body will adapt and they'll see, your hand is moving to write and your eyes are looking at the words and your brain is actually reading these things as you're writing them and you're actually feeling something as you're writing them too. So write some affirmations. I've got a few here that I can share about like money and self-concept and things like that. But you can create your own. But you can chat GPT them and see what pops up there. That can help you, of course. But just saying, I'm the operant power, that's a good one. I'm the only one with free will. In my reality, it's just me against me. That's it. It's just you against you. It's the battle between your ears, That's really all that it is. It's truly everything is a reflection of you. Everyone is you pushed out, as Neville says too. Everything is a mirror, so it's showing you something that's going on in your subconscious. And we have to watch our belief systems, of course. And yesterday, I want to dig deeper into this another time, but those limiting beliefs and those meanings we place on things is very important. We do not have to have necessarily a bad event that happens for us to have limiting beliefs. We could simply have something that happens as a child, and we make that mean that, I must be not good enough because my dad worked, 5 days out of the week and was traveling or something. And so therefore the child feels unwanted and like they're not good enough because dad would rather choose work than be with me, that type of thing. It's just like these ways that our little brains wire things in our minds. And so those become triggers later on, and we don't even know that they're running parts of our show. So we have to become aware of our beliefs and aware of our thoughts, aware of our feelings, aware of our emotions. Where do you feel it in your body? Actually feel the feeling instead of responding so quickly. Like, we seem to react really quickly these days. I've noticed that. Everybody is very on edge, very defensive. No one really listens, like takes the time to stop and just pause for a second. You might want to use the word pause in your life. Like, pause, Give it a second before you respond, in text or in person. It's like, take a second and take a breath and actually process what the person said without, judging what they said. And that leads me to, I'm going to pick this one actually out of this book. This is the 40 Powerful Spiritual Phrases That Can Change the Quality of Your Life by Norman Vincent Peale and Dr. C.S. Moore. And it comes with a Bible verse and then like a little paragraph. So I'm just going to read that to you real quick. It is, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Matthew 5:44. And then they say, make a list of all the people who have hurt and mistreated you or whom you do not like. Then pray for each by name and sincerely practice forgiving each one. Ask the Lord to bless them. Tell the Lord that you want to mean this. Repel the thought that after all you are justified in your resentment. Then speak kindly about those persons to others. Go out of your way to help them. This will, in time, break down many barriers, but even if it shouldn't, the effect upon you will be amazing. It will clear the channel through which spiritual power flows into you. So Esther Hicks also would talk about how you forgive others for you. Like, you need to be feeling good. And when you're mad at somebody, you're not feeling so good. And that's muddying the waters of your vibration and your frequency that you're, sending out to the universe. So we have to be really careful about resentment, especially with what's going on in the world right now. What we're seeing is a lot. And so we have to go within our imaginations again, which is where creation is in your reality, and go in there and create these scenes of, like, literally you can go inside your mind anytime you want to and just like create peace. That's what I love about the mind. It's like you can go in there. It's a safe space as long as you've made it safe for yourself. And you go in there and you just go in there like it's a movie theater or something, and you're creating a movie, and you're watching a movie and you're projecting it on the screen, and you get to be in the movie, actually see yourself in the movie. And maybe say, I forgive this person, I forgive that person, because it's you that you want to make feel better. And when you forgive somebody, it's actually letting go of resentment. Forgiving is not letting somebody off the hook and, saying, hey, what you did to me was, great. It may not have been, it may have caused some pain, right? So But remember, the meaning that we place on things is so, so important. Just because someone hurts us, that doesn't mean that we didn't get some lesson from that. We've got to remember, we've got to extract the gems from every single challenge, no matter how good or bad it looks. We've got to extract something from it, because that gives you your power back. Anytime you say, oh, well, this happened to me and now I'm going to crawl in the corner and cry and die. Well, every time you do that, you have no power. And so, and I know what pain feels like. I'm sure you do too. Pain does not feel good. Any type of resentment doesn't feel good either. But sometimes we feel resentment and we feel like, oh, I'm going to, do this to them and karma's going to get them and all this. That comes right back to you. That is showing where your energy is. So you have to be really careful about what you're thinking about and how you're feeling when you're thinking it, because just check yourself for resentment. Because I noticed I was telling stories too for a long time of resentment. I was just like, and I was repeating stories in my head. So you have to really watch what stories you're telling yourself. And remember, this whole year, we're just going to work on having clean, pure energy inside of you instead of those old emotions that don't work for you anymore. Because that's basically what's happening. It's just like these old stories are playing and they're causing different things to happen in your life that you don't even need anymore, that maybe you never did need. So just practice telling new stories about what you're wanting, not what you've got, maybe. And you say, I'm thankful that this, and this is happening right now. And I'm thankful and grateful and appreciative of this person for this, or whatever it is that you want to say to yourself that feels good to you. Read those affirmations over and over throughout the day, a couple times a day. Just spend like 10 or 15 focused minutes on writing and reading. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I will say it is so powerful for you to do that. I mean, you don't have to. It's just like one of those tools that you can use to focus. Because I don't know about you, but it is hard to focus whenever I'm not writing or reading, especially when I'm like writing. That's something that I can't really think of anything else while I'm writing, because I'm using my hand and my eyes are on the paper and I'm thinking about it and I'm feeling. So scripting is one of those permission slips, as Bashar calls it, to kind of get you to focus. And to me, it's pretty magical. And I also love just visualizing things, because I've had things like come very quickly within minutes to hours to a day or two. I've just been able to see things in reality after seeing them in my mind first. So it's such a fun game to play when you recognize that it's just your mind creating all of this stuff. And your mind is creating your limiting beliefs. That's all that's happened, is you feel not capable of starting something or doing something, finishing something even, because there's a limiting belief there, that a barrier to feeling like you're capable. So I just started saying I am capable. That was the easiest thing for me to do. And saying I can do anything that I want to do. I can. I stopped saying I can't. Because every time you say something like that, your mind hears you and it believes you. And it's like, yep, you're right. You're right, you can't. So I go back to that day that I started 300 days ago. 300 days ago. And I could have said, nope, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then today would be video 299. Or it might be 0. I might not have ever started. I don't know. But there was that moment when I said, I'm going to show up for myself. So you get to decide when that moment is for you, to show up for you. Show up for yourself every single day. The smallest little tiny habit can turn into a huge opportunity for you. You just never know what could happen. So you want to just keep persisting in the vision that you have for yourself, whatever that is, the knowing that, hey, I am this person, I am capable, I can do anything that I put my mind to, I can be, do, and have anything that I want. Go within your heart. I came up with, I don't know if anybody else has ever said this before, but I was talking to somebody yesterday and we were talking about, I was about to say, I'm going to brainstorm this. And then I said, I'm going to heartstorm this. So I'm going to call it heartstorming. So instead of brainstorming, we're going to heartstorm. Get into your heart and out of your brain. We need to cut that cord a little bit. And I know we need brain and heart coherence to like feel our best, but sometimes we got to like turn off the thinker a little bit and get into the heart. So I want you to do something that scares you every day. You know, push past that fear that fear isn't even real anyway. Remember? False evidence appearing real. Really, all this stuff around us is false evidence appearing real. So when you think about it, and it runs our lives, unfortunately, and it doesn't have to. So you can change that anytime you want to. And there was one more thing. Oh, yes. Deliberately think thoughts that serve your end purpose. So remember, deliberately think these thoughts that serve the end of what you're wanting to become. Deliberately think those thoughts. Because if you don't, you're going to automatically think the other thoughts that you've always thought. So you get to decide, are these old thoughts working for me or are they not? And then if they're not, what new thoughts do I need to program in that feel better for me? And you can decide. It's a decision every moment. Hey, I can do this. Like, for me too, I would always think about the past and I'd be like, ugh, I don't want to feel that way again. I don't want to even think about that ever again. And then you have to question as well, like, well, maybe I need to change my perception of that thing, you know? And what if I was thinking, what if I made a meaning about that wasn't even true? And, you know, you just dig into yourself and figure yourself out a little more than maybe you've been doing. And you'll be able to see the fruits of your labor at some point. But the first fruit is you're going to just start feeling better. And that's what we all want anyway. We want to feel good. We want to feel great. We want to feel, you know, at peace, that inner peace that you can't buy. It's priceless. You just can't buy inner peace. So just keep practicing. I'll be with you throughout the whole way. You know, I'm here. So I got 65 more videos to go. That is crazy to me. Thank you guys so much for being here as always. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to. And share this with someone else who might benefit from the information in this video. And remember, you are so loved. Pass that on to somebody who needs to hear it, or just say it to yourself in the mirror. And I will see you tomorrow. And also remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys later. Love you guys. Have a wonderful Saturday evening, or whatever day or time you catch this. Have a great day or evening. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.